Hello everyone and welcome back. It's a beautiful Wednesday here today in Korea. I'm just out for a walk and I just want to update you guys on everything that's going on here in Korea and just kind of answer some questions that may have come up. So in Korea today, Wednesday, it's a national holiday, so the schools are closed because of elections. Over the weekend and on Friday, there were a lot of people doing early voting, and my school was one of the polling sites. So tomorrow marks the first day that our school is going to be actually open again. The students won't be coming in, but we'll be doing online teaching with the kids. A lot of my teachers at the school, including my co-teacher, has been preparing online materials and recording lessons to help facilitate the learning. With warmer weather and spring being here, it's really hard to not want to go out and travel, but we've still been asked by the government to try and limit our traveling to only the essentials, going to and from work, taking care of family members, etc. And as you can see, I'm still wearing my face mask. Face masks in Korea is already something that's part of daily life. Fine dust pollution is pretty common and can make your breathing difficult, so usually, like last year, I was wearing a mask quite a bit on some days when the fine dust levels were really high. And our cell phones, it'll kind of tell you like what the fine dust levels are, so you know whether or not you need to wear a mask that day. And at schools, they have different electronic displays and stuff that kind of show the kids as well, so when they're going outside to play, they can be protected. So cherry blossoms are really popular in Korea and in other parts of Asia. Last year I was able to go to some different festivals in Seoul and other cities, but this year a lot of those have been canceled to discourage large crowds of people. Some people still are going out and gathering in larger groups, but for the most part people have been pretty good about it. So I think that's enough for updates right now, so I'll get to some of the questions that I've gotten in the past. So I was really at a point in my life where I wanted a career change. I wasn't really happy doing what I was doing, or when I was happy, I wasn't making enough to live on my own. And so I started taking classes for getting my TEFL certificate, and I started applying for teaching jobs here in Korea. Originally I applied for the EPIC program, which is the sister program to Talk, where you're teaching in either elementary schools, middle schools, or high school. But I ended up here in the Talk program, and it's been one of the best experiences in my life. But going back to the question, I wanted to learn more about my family and my culture. The last time that a lot of my aunts and uncles on my mom's side saw me was when I was just a baby. My sister's been back to Korea a few times over the years, and she also teaches here as well. But for me, last year in 2019 was the first time that I'd been back in Korea in about 30 years. So there were definitely some challenges when moving to Korea. The biggest one being away from my friends and family, not being able to see them for at least a year, aside from being able to do some video calling, telephone calls, chatting with them via text message, etc. So that was a big challenge, but since coming to Korea, I have been able to go back and visit one time right before the lockdowns and everything started happening, and I was able to see my mom, dad, brother, some of my friends and family, so that was good to be able to see them. Other challenges was figuring out what to bring or what I needed for the next year. I had to pack everything into pretty much 2 suitcases and then 2 carry-ons, and that had to last me all of last year. The biggest part was not knowing where I would be teaching. With the Talk program, when you get your contract and you're ready to come over to Korea, they tell you what province you're in, but but the province really doesn't give you too much information, so you don't know what kind of kids you're gonna have, how many, what city you're gonna be in, or anything like that until pretty much the night before you're shipping out on the bus with your other talk scholars going to the same province. And that at first I was a bit shocked, and I was worried that maybe I would get stuck out on one of the islands and be isolated from everyone. But I ended up in a really good city. I'm about 15 minutes bus ride from the beach, so it's nice to be able to go there on a Friday when the weather's nice and just be able to walk around, eat some donuts, etc. Another challenging part has been the language itself. Even though I'm half Korean, back at home I really didn't take the opportunity to learn the language aside from some words like different food things. But coming to Korea last year, I started taking some Korean classes. In a lot of the rural cities, they have what's called a multicultural family center where spouses who've married Korean nationals can go and learn Korean, because that's one of the requirements to become a citizen here, is to get a certain level of Korean proficiency. There's also resources online, books that you can find, and so really I don't have any excuse for not being able to speak Korean by now. But last year I was a bit lazy about that, so this year, since we've had delays with school and everything, I've been trying harder to learn Korean so that I don't have to rely as much on translator apps like Google Translate, or one that's popular here in Korea is called Papago. But in my day-to-day teaching, I don't really have to use too much Korean aside from some more difficult concepts, but I use a lot of visuals to teach the vocabulary to the students, and a lot of demonstrations, hand gestures, motion, songs, because you really don't want to have to give them that crutch to where they're always relying on the Korean to be able to speak English, and it really helps them with their proficiency if they're just having to rely on the English itself. Another part that's been a bit challenging is being able to talk with the other teachers. The first semester last year, I wasn't able to communicate with anyone really aside from my mentor teacher, who also spoke English, and he was the English teacher at our school. But the second semester in this year, a lot of the teachers have been trying to practice English more with me, and we've been able to communicate and use translator apps and stuff to kind of communicate as well. And I've been going to what's called hoeshiks throughout the year. These are like staff dinners where you go out and eat at like a Korean barbecue place or something and just be able to relax, talk with each other, and just get away from the school for a while and kind of unwind. So yeah, I think I'll just do a couple questions today and kind of keep this video short. I'm just gonna keep walking, and I'm just gonna show you some of the things that are around me today, and you can just enjoy some music while seeing some of the different animals and plants and flowers. I'll try to get some cherry blossoms, but you guys have a good day and take care.